For over 2,000 years, people have searched for a city that might never have existed. A city said to shine with gold, powered by wisdom, and destroyed by its own pride. You already know its name. Atlantis. From explorers to philosophers to modern storytellers, Atlantis has become a symbol of lost knowledge, ancient power, and humanity's obsession with the unknown. But what if the legend isn't just fantasy? What if it's a memory of something real, a civilization buried by time, reshaped by myth? Let's go back to where it all began. Not in the ocean, but in the mind of a philosopher. Our only real source for Atlantis comes from one man, Plato. Around 360 years before Christ, the Greek philosopher wrote 2 dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, and inside them, he dropped one of the most enduring mysteries in history. According to Plato, Atlantis was a vast island that lay beyond the Pillars of Heracles, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. It was larger than Libya and Asia combined, home to a powerful civilization that ruled the seas and traded across the known world. Plato claimed the story wasn't his invention, but something passed down from Egyptian priests to the Greek statesman Solon, and eventually to him. So, was Plato reporting history or teaching a moral lesson? Most scholars think Atlantis was meant as an allegory, a warning about how power and arrogance can destroy even the greatest societies. But here's the thing. Plato described Atlantis with so much detail, its geography, architecture, and downfall, that people couldn't stop wondering if he was describing something real. He wrote of a paradise built by Poseidon, the god of the sea. Poseidon, the legend says, fell in love with a mortal woman named Cleito, and together they had 10 sons, the first kings of Atlantis. The eldest, Atlas, gave his name to the island itself. Poseidon supposedly carved the city into concentric rings, circles of land and water connected by bridges and canals. In the center stood a mountain palace surrounded by silver walls and golden roofs, guarded by statues of horses and dolphins. Ships could sail through the canals, and the whole city shimmered like a reflection of the heavens. Atlantis had everything: fertile land, shining metals, and a mysterious reddish alloy called orichalcum, said to glow like fire. Its people studied astronomy, architecture, and philosophy. For generations, they lived in balance, half divine and half human, building what seemed like a perfect world. But paradise never lasts forever. Over time, the Atlanteans changed. The divine part of their nature faded, and ambition took over. They built fleets of warships and began conquering neighboring lands from Egypt to Greece. Their empire grew, and so did their pride. The gods watched as Atlantis, once guided by wisdom, turned toward greed. Then came the punishment. According to Plato, in a single day and night of misfortune, the island was swallowed by earthquakes and floods. The sea rose and consumed the land, leaving nothing but waves where a civilization once stood. And just like that, Atlantis was gone. That's the story, short, dramatic, and unforgettable. Plato never mentioned it again, but the world never stopped searching for it. Fast forward a few thousand years. From the Renaissance to modern times, people have tried to find Atlantis. But where do you even start when your only clue is beyond the Pillars of Heracles? Some looked to the Azores, volcanic islands in the Atlantic that rise abruptly from deep ocean trenches. Underwater rock formations there sparked rumors of man-made ruins. but scientists say they're natural basalt shapes. Others turned east, arguing that beyond the pillars might not mean outside the Mediterranean at all. One of the strongest theories points to the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete, and especially Thera, known today as Santorini. Around 1600 years before Christ, a massive volcanic eruption there destroyed entire cities, sent tsunamis across the Aegean, and covered the region in ash. The Minoans were advanced traders and architects. They worshipped bulls, built complex palaces, and painted sea life on their walls. Sound familiar? It's easy to see how memories of their destruction could evolve into Plato's tale of a proud island swallowed by the sea. There's also the Sahara theory. In the heart of Mauritania lies the Richat Structure, a massive circular formation visible from space. Its ringed shape resembles Plato's map of Atlantis almost perfectly. Some claim it was once a fertile land before the desert expanded. Most geologists say it's just a natural erosion pattern, but the resemblance keeps the theory alive. And then there are the wilder ideas. Atlantis in the Caribbean, in Antarctica, or buried beneath the ice. Every new theory keeps the legend alive, even without proof, because the search itself has become part of the myth. But Atlantis isn't unique. Nearly every ancient culture tells stories of lost lands and great floods. The Sumerians wrote of a deluge that wiped out humanity. The Egyptians spoke of kingdoms swallowed by rising waters. The Maya and the Inca told of golden cities lost to the jungle or the sea. Maybe Atlantis is just the greatest remix of all these tales, a collection of memories from real disasters, retold through time. So maybe Plato didn't invent Atlantis from nothing. Maybe he combined fragments of real history, civilizations that rose, thrived, and fell, and shaped them into a story about balance, power, and loss. That's why it still feels familiar, because it's not just a story about an island. It's the story of us. In the last century, technology made the search feel possible again. Sonar scans, underwater drones, and satellite imagery let us explore places once unreachable. Every few years, a new expedition claims to have found Atlantis, near Spain, near the Bahamas, or deep in the Atlantic, but nothing has ever been proven. Still, the hunt continues, because Atlantis isn't just archaeology anymore. It's an idea, a mystery that connects science, imagination, and hope. Every dive into the deep, every strange sonar image, feels like a step closer to solving an ancient riddle. And even if we never find it, the search tells us something about who we are. We're drawn to lost worlds because they promise something more than treasure. They promise a second chance. Proof that greatness once existed and maybe could again. Atlantis still matters because it's not really about a city under the sea. It's about humanity's endless cycle of creation and destruction. It's about how civilizations rise on wisdom and collapse under pride. It's a reminder that technology and ambition mean nothing without humility, and that nature, the sea, and time itself always have the final word. But it's also a celebration of imagination, the power to dream of worlds we've never seen. Maybe Plato never meant us to take Atlantis literally. Maybe he wanted us to keep asking questions, to explore, to never stop wondering what lies beneath the surface. And that's exactly what we've done for more than 2,000 years. Picture this. You're sailing over the Atlantic. The water is dark and calm. Somewhere far below, mountains rise and valleys fall, hidden beneath thousands of meters of water. No golden palaces, no shining towers, just silence, And yet, maybe the memory of something once great still lingers there, not as ruins, but as an echo. Atlantis isn't a lost city, it's a question. One humanity keeps asking, how far can we rise before we fall? And until that question is answered, the legend will never die.